I'm I'm Dan. I'm Dan Collins. I've fairly recently joined the group, thanks to Tracy bringing me along and Marion, who are clients of mine. Um, I'm a remedial massage therapist, so I'll just give you a little bit of background to me. You can probably tell from my voice. Born in London. I've got two children. My daughter Hannah is 30 and Cameron 27. Somewhat scarily, they're both now engaged, so it's going to be a big year next year. I live with my partner Kez in Hyderabad. A little bit of background about me. I was a junior professional footballer back in England. Unfortunately, a couple of broken legs later, put an end to that one. So I studied. I beg your pardon? No, Elton John. Elton John was the chairman when I was there. Yeah. So technically, he was my boss, but he didn't get anywhere near me. And I didn't get invites to his parties either, which, which is a shame. I was a bit young. The team did. Okay, two broken legs later, I went on to study some sports science, and then I worked in the UK in the health and fitness industry, mainly in health clubs. I started as a gym instructor. If anybody remembers gym instructors, they don't actually exist anymore. Everyone's a personal trainer nowadays. So I worked in the health clubs in London under a gentleman called Ron Clark, who you may know, the ex-mayor of the Gold Coast and runner. He was my boss in London. And through him, I married an Aussie in London, an Aussie aerobics instructor, which most of them were back then. And we were invited. Ron got moved back out to Australia and started up Korean Cove Resort on South Straddie, and he invited us to come over and work there from pre-opening. So we jumped at the chance. We thought we were coming for 2 years, but 26 years later, I'm still here. So I worked on the resort for 5 years running the recreation, and then got back into the health and fitness industry running health clubs in Springwood, Brisbane, down in Tweed, and here on the Gold Coast as well. But then unfortunately the bean counters, sorry, the bean counters in the room, the bean counters took over the fitness industry, so I moved out of it and got into some commercial fitness equipment sales for a couple of years, um, statewide through Queensland. But again, I felt I was just really just a travelling salesman, and that got a bit old pretty quickly. So I requalified as a remedial massage therapist. Having been in sports, I'd had lots of dealings with massage therapists and physios, and so I thought that was something that appealed to me. Um, Obviously, through my sports background, I'll give you a little bit. That's me and my kids. That's Hannah and Cameron on the left. That's me and my partner Kez. It's Blues Fest last year. That's a big part of our lives. Unfortunately, the last one is next year. That will be my 18th. So, you reckon it'll keep going? No, I wish it would. I wish it would. But I love my Blues Fest. Okay, these are some of the teams that I've gotten to work with. Having come from a fitness and sports background, that tended to be where I started with remedial fitness. I worked with the AIS kayak team who are based here at Burleigh. That's me getting ready for the Commonwealth Games. Worked in the village, and two of my favourite athletes. I worked with a group of Paralympians. That's Scott and Vanessa, who double gold medalists, um, double um, speed legs, I guess you would call them. When you think you're having a bad day, and Vanessa rocks up with a massive smile, bounces into the room, takes her legs off, and jumps up on the table, you realise your day's not quite so bad. So, okay. These are some of the teams I've had the opportunity to work with. Worked with quite a lot of the NRL teams, which is like massaging a row of bricks. Um, and not something I'd recommend for your wrists and elbows. So a couple of cortisone shots later, I stopped working with them. Some of the AFL teams, cricket, some of the international rugby teams, including the All Blacks, which was great, and the Institute of Sport with their triathlon, sprint kayak based here on the coast, and their athletic squads. As I say, I got the opportunity to work at the Commonwealth Games Village in 2018, which was great fun. Working with teams is great. It's hard work. You don't get paid anymore. They demand a lot. So it was great while it lasted. But generally speaking, I work with everybody that's in this room. So what is remedial massage? So as opposed to maybe just fairy lights and music and it's all soft and relaxing, there's whale song going on in the background, it's a little bit more involved. The idea is to try and help fix things, I guess, as well as making them feel good. So it's a soft tissue therapy, focusing on the tense, damaged or knotted muscles, often targeting those chronic musculoskeletal issues, which those aches and pains, those groans and moans that we all have, that's really what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So included in that sort of umbrella of remedial massage is the deep tissue massage. That's when elbows, thumbs start getting employed and we get in there and actually do some work. Trigger point therapy. Trigger point is what we used to call knots. Just those little sections of muscle that have got really aggravated, really tense, quite painful, and can be debilitating. Start changing the way that we move. So we'll work on those. I also do dry needling, which is an extension of trigger point therapy, where using nice, sometimes quite long needles, we get a little bit more intense if those problems are not coming free easily, and people don't mind a little bit more intense treatment, we'll get the needles out. Some people love the needles. Some people can't be in a room with the needles. It's usually the fellas that are the squeamish ones. Ladies are tougher. Do a lot of assisted stretching. I'm doing that more and more and more with people because so many of us are static throughout the day. Our work demands that. We don't move a great deal. So I'm doing a lot more assisted stretching with people just to sort of open us out a bit and make us feel a little bit more comfortable. And also relaxation. I do relaxation massages as well for those that need it, for those that want it. We all like to just sometimes need a bit of a helping hand just to bring it down and feel a little bit better. The benefits of the massage: pain relief, stimulates blood flow, which is what we need to help recover from exercise. That DOMS that we all feel, that delayed onset muscle soreness, for those that work out, we know it, we love it, we don't love it. Massage can help with that. Promotes healing and injury recovery because of that accelerated blood flow. Increase your range of motion and mobility. That's probably one of the key ones. We tend to lose our mobility more often than not because of our jobs. Most of us, we say most of us, probably drive a desk or we drive a car. So we don't move quite often for hours at a time, especially if we get very involved in a project. We just don't move. So we stiffen up, we tighten up, we curl up. So part of the reason of what we do is to increase that range of motion. Reduce muscle tension and stress. Can't separate mind and body. Get the body feeling better. Tends to reduce the stress levels too, especially this time of year, because the world ends on Boxing Day, as we know, and everyone's running around like headless chooks. So this is quite often a busy day when people just need help to reach that finish line that they can see in the distance. Improve posture. I'm a bit of a posture Nazi. I talk about it a lot. My father used to teach it in the Think with Alexander technique that was drilled into me as a young child. So I talk to people a lot about their postures, about their day-to-day working postures and how we can help improve them and how people can help manage them and be aware of them, because that's half the battle, just being aware of how we hold ourselves. Improved sleep will often come from a regular massage and overall well-being. And the one I keep banging on about, maintenance. We are a machine. We're a very complicated machine. We need maintenance. If we wait till it breaks down, it's a lot harder to fix. So ongoing maintenance is really the key. I'm going to talk about two main issues that most of us will suffer from. And when they give it a name, you know it's probably not good. Upper cross syndrome. Basically, affects the upper back, shoulders and neck, caused by that chronic hunching over that we all do. Whether it be looking at our phone, driving a desk, driving a car, head down, shoulders round, hunched up, we end up like this. And we're creating a generation of hunchbacks as well with our kids. We've probably seen most of the teens, they're buried like this. People need to open up and open out. So it's actually becoming a serious issue for a lot of people. It's creating a lot of pain, discomfort, lack of sleep, neck aches, shoulder aches, back aches, because we're not conscious of it, or we're just stuck in those positions for a long time and we don't think about how we can improve the situation. I talk to people a lot about how their desks are set up, computer heights, chairs, up and down desks, getting up out of your chair, how to sit in a car, what's the best position to be in. That's a real common one because we can't change what we do for work, most of us. So it's just managing it a little bit better. And then I help with the symptoms of your work, that stiffness, that tightness, to try and help alleviate those aches and pains. Because if we let them go, they build up. And then we get those niggles and pains which start to make us move a little bit differently. That creates compensation issues. And we have other issues. And then, okay, what came first? What's causing what? So it's, the idea is to try and nip things in the bud. If I can get people walking in the room and saying, I actually feel pretty good, that's where we want you. Because we'll still do a nice, broad, deep tissue massage, but we'll come across areas and it's, oh, that's a bit uncomfortable. I hadn't noticed that. And that's just a little flag wave from the body to say, right, this area is starting to get dysfunctional. It's starting to stiffen and tighten up. So let's get on top of it before it turns into one of those niggles or before it actually turns into an injury. Okay. Lower cross syndrome. Okay. Top and bottom, we're all connected up. So basically this comes from, affects the lower back, hips and your glutes, usually caused by prolonged sitting. Glutes become weak, despite the glute max, but being the biggest muscle that we all have, most of us don't use it very well. So other muscles take over to support. Hip flexors are always shortened because we're sat down. So when we're tight on the front, our hips get rotated. That creates issues for the back. So even though we might be feeling it on the back, the issue might be actually up front. So I do a lot of stretching of those areas as well and massaging and some fairly uncomfortable hip flexor releases if you really need it. Fingers and thumbs, great fun. I enjoy it. Overarched lower back, protruding stomach, lower back pain, reduced mobility in the hips. It's all about, again, it's reduced mobility. So a lot of what I do is trying to alleviate the discomfort in the first place, get the muscles settled down, try and get them back to some sort of normal length. Maybe get some advice because of my background with exercise. I can talk to people about their workouts, about their sports, things they can try if they feel they haven't got the time. We have got the time. We all have the time. It doesn't need a lot just to improve what we're doing. And I'm there just to help alleviate symptoms more than anything else. So the call to action, I work at your homes. I'll go and visit 3/4 of my clients. I'll probably go to them to help with just making it convenient because people don't have a lot of time to give up, get in the car, come to a clinic, and then go back home. So I'm happy. I've got my table in my car constantly. I'll go and visit you. I can visit you in the office. I've done that for people as well, which is always interesting. And I have rooms at Runaway Bay Marina 2 days a week as well, which people can come visit me if that suits them a little bit better. I have full health fund rebate, so I have all my provider numbers. So if you have medical insurance, you can get your claim back from your treatments as much as it is that they give you, which isn't always a lot. And I'll say to finish, you need to invest in yourself. We invest in an awful lot of other things, but we often don't take the time to invest in ourselves. Try not to see it as a treat. Massage tends to get you that spa, that nice day off. I've got the champagne and the bubbles and the music going. That's lovely, and that's really nice to do. However, we need to look after ourselves, whether it be regular exercise and a regular massage. I see some people weekly, some fortnightly, some monthly. Depends on their time, their budget, their work problems, if you like, and how well they feel after a massage. Some don't feel the need to come every week. Some go, I need to see you every week. I absolutely do. Regularity. I think that is the key, as with most things. And I'll finish with the catchphrase, what do we all need? Maintenance. We all need maintenance. There we go. Okay. Has anybody got any questions? All depends on the client. Some people,